Phil Mickelson is in recovery after admitting he has gambled more than $1 billion over the years.
Now, most people can bet in moderation on fantasy football, maybe a game of poker, or even at a casino. But when does play turn into an addiction? Adam Jablin is a life coach and recovery mentor and joins us live. Adam, good to have you back here on Houston's morning show. How big of an addiction is gambling?
Guys, happy to be with you. Gambling is huge, and it doesn't rip the individual apart, it rips the family apart, especially with financial struggles.
Now, we're talking about a big difference between an addiction, like we said, and just going and hanging out at a casino for a little while. So what would be warning signs that this gambling is starting to take over your life and it's really turning into an addiction?
Well, it actually mirrors what we would see with substance abuse, right? So it's the obsessive thoughts, it's that mental torture, and it's the constant craving of a dopamine hit, right? You're constantly trying to get that hit, that feel better of the next game, the next bet, hopefully the next win, or even the next loss.
Now, when it comes to like Phil Mickelson, he said his financial security was never threatened, even though that seems like an incredible amount of money to have bet over the years. But for others, obviously, it is a big problem. When do you know that your enablers are really not your friends? Because a lot of these people, you know, they think their enablers are their friends, like Phil Mickelson did.
Well, it takes a certain amount of hell and it takes a certain amount of mental torture to find that out. I wish I could tell you that there was a handbook and there was an A, B, and C, and right here, this is where you find out your enablers are not your friends. What you're going to have to do is go through your own struggles, your own trials and tribulations, and start realizing these people are not helping me, they're hurting me. You know, obviously, I am not the judge of when somebody's compulsive, obsessive disorder turns into an actual addiction. You actually have to admit that internally. But you will start seeing people that want to kind of leech onto you, want to, you know, why aren't you come back? Come on. It was just one loss. It was just one drink. It was just one. Mm-hmm. Eventually, you have to be internally and intrinsically sound to say, this is killing me.
Mm. Well, and it kills families so much of just breaking them apart. And we see the Superman behind you as part of the Hero Project. What you do is try to help people recognize the signs and then do something about it. But how do you help a loved one if they don't want out of this, if they don't see it as a problem?
Exactly. That's what I do. I free people from this torture. I free people from this obsession. And how do you do this with a loved one? Well, you have to build a common language. That's the first thing. Most people either come very abruptly and it puts the addict in a defensive situation, or they enable and they allow the situation to continue. And I would say it's 80% enabling, 20%, well, now I've had it. It's passive aggressive behavior. Mm-hmm. You have to build a common language where your loved one feels safe to truly disclose what's been going on, and you can not put your cape on. Bring some outside help and say, there's a way out of this. There's a solution, right? And if it's me or a treatment center or whatever it is, get some outside help to allow the person to start to recover.
Yeah, Adam, real quick in our final 30 seconds, what does treatment look like for a gambling addiction? Is it similar to alcohol or a drug addiction?
Absolutely. First, you know, you're going to have to do some internal work. I'm a big believer in having a community. GA is wonderful. It's this 12-step community where you could be around like-minded people that understand the same problem and the same solution. But you're going to have to get deep down to the causes and conditions of what's making you constantly want this dopamine hit. Mm-hmm. It's not the gambling. Right, the gambling is actually affecting something in the brain that's making you feel good.
Yeah, all right.
So it's gambling, alcoholism, pills, whatever. You got to get to the causes and conditions.
Well, Adam, thank you for your time. We're showing right there how to prevent it. Just limit your time to gamble. Don't mix drinking and gambling. Don't chase those losses and set that budget. Thanks again.